Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Hulu Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and life is meaningless.
I'm Alonso, and I could have been watching Feud this whole time. And this
is Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Oh, boy.
What's up? What's up?
Before the haters, and by haters, I mean anyone from my family reaches out, life is not meaningless. It was a bit we did for this particular episode of Deck the Hallmark where our monitor's not working, things are going wrong, our pets' heads are falling off, and we're covering...
What?
Meet me under... Our pets' heads are falling off is a quote from Dumb and Dumber. Did you not know that?
No, I haven't seen that film, and I was so concerned that I missed something.
I was a little worried too, frankly, and I didn't recognize that quote, even though a friend of mine co-wrote Dumb and Dumber.
Man, our pets' heads are falling off as they I wish Brian was here. He'd have appreciated that.
There's a first time for everything.
Where's
sweet.
Brian when you need him? I've said it for years.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, Brian, love you, buddy. Man. Well, I'm happy that your pets' heads are all still intact. That's really great.
Yeah.
As far as I know, mine as well,
Firmly in
which
place.
is great. Alonso, how are you?
Whew, having a rainy day, which is,
I heard about that. Yeah.
calendar marking material here in Southern California. So I got the ring light on. I hope I don't look too crazy.
We can
According
see
to
you,
us,
and you look great.
Yes.
Oh, excellent.
You've actually never looked better, if you can believe it or not.
If you have Philo TV, philo.tv/DTH, you can see more of this episode than Brian and I can see right now.
I actually can't wait to catch this one on Philo.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm going to be able to it's going to be great.
I like watching all of them on Philo.
but this
there
one's
is-
This is
special.
the voice of doom.
Now that we're talking about Philo, it's a good time to remind people that if you go to the guide, we have our channel. You just click on it, and then episodes just play. They just
Roll
play
all day long.
which is a lot of fun, and it's
Yeah.
what we do here in the office. We have that going in the lobby, kitchen.
What I'm going to do with this episode is
what do we call that area?
It's the break room.
What is it?
I called it a break room
Yes.
once, and Dan made fun of me.
It's the waiting room, break room,
Lobby,
first
kitchen.
room, lobby.
Foyer.
I will say it's a
not a foyer
elevator
if there's a
repair
stove,
room.
right?
It's a kitchen.
Yeah.
The least it is a kitchen, even though the most that it is a kitchen. Like the majority of the area is a kitchen, but it is used.
The least it is
the
is
least
a kitchen,
amount.
even though the most it is a kitchen. That is a
I
Brandon
think
Gray original.
Well, the amount of food in there would say kitchen.
Yeah.
There is a ton of food.
There's silverware, food, a dishwasher,
have food anywhere,
a
though.
sink, an oven,
And
and
I'm
a
proof of
microwave.
What other tenant wanted the kitchen that is what the public walks into?
The-
Like, who else was going to rent that space if not you?
Well, it was actually a part of a bigger space, and they were like, we could put up a wall here if you're willing to go through this door. And we were like, sure.
Kitchen first, count us
That's
in.
right. Yeah.
I
those
said
are
as
food.
long as there's a stove.
That's right. Yeah. I get that. I don't want to see a fire code anywhere near this building.
Absolutely right.
That's why it's good to rent, guys.
All that to say is if you have a lobby, kitchen, break room, seating area,
Call us.
and you also have a TV in there, if you could put Philo on and do DTH all
Yes,
day,
please.
let
Right.
the people know that
Yeah.
DTH is available.
Yeah.
That'd be the best word of mouth that
Y'all
there
are
is.
a whole channel.
That's right.
It's kind of amazing.
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Bran, you cannot see the chat today due to some technical difficulties, but Holly would like to remind you that it is our Pop-Tart closet.
Yes.
So that
Oh,
is
yeah,
that
of
is the
course.
main function of that room.
Pop-Tart o'clock doesn't exist without that room. Well,
No.
it might. You would bring them in here.
I would find a way.
Pop-Tarts and seltzer.
You find a way to Pop-Tart o'clock.
I would say the refrigerator is the most important thing in there, but if the Pop-Tarts could be close second.
Yeah. The Pop-Tart is I've opened that fridge. It's nothing but Reese's and seltzer.
And as God intended.
The table, though, that we sit at.
all the time. We take lunch.
Yes, all the time.
Because back here, this is the war room. You know, this
Yes.
is where we get just like, we're grinding.
We
And
never-
go out there
we
to take a
wouldn't-
break and go, whew, what a day.
We would never eat at this table.
We would never eat at this table.
No.
This is the podcast
No.
table. Because that's the thing. Like once you start eating at the podcast table, then you start podcasting at your eating table.
It's a whole mess.
You got to leave your work at work.
that's
You
right. I've
have
said
to
it.
create
Listen,
boundaries.
oof.
And once you start eating wings,
This job, man, will eat you alive if you're not careful.
that's exactly right. Just like I'll eat wings. Not at this table.
Alive.
That's right. Yeah.
You guys want to talk about Meet Me Under the Mistletoe?
No.
Oh, why not?
Originally aired on the Hulu December 9th, 2023, and it went a little something like this. Eva, is that her name?
Sure.
Or Ava? Eva is a realtor that works out of an office with more Christmas trees per capita than a Home Depot at Christmas time. There's this rival realtor named Jeff, and they're constantly competing to see who can sell more, who can make more commission, who can be more annoying. It is a thing that they do. So when this couple walks in and say, hey, we, you know us, we're the botanist, we want to sell our house, they start drooling. They're like, I would be perfect for this. And she says, I would be perfect for this. He says, I would be perfect for it. And so they say, we're going to think about it. We're gonna kind of figure out who do we believe is going to be the best person to help us sell our house. And they come back the next day and they say, hey, we got something we want to throw your way. What if you two partner up? What if you two, because you know the, Jeff, you know the area, Eva, you are just awesome in every way. And so the two of you, I think, would really be a dynamite duo that would help sell our house and get us the most. But we have to sell it before Christmas. That's the big thing here. For the reason that we all remember. So they go, all right, well, here we go. So the next day they start hanging out. They go to the house. They decide there's not nearly enough Christmas in this house. So they add more Christmas to the house. And then they start hanging out even more. They're going to Christmas festivals and whatnot. They're kind of hitting it off now. And that's nice. So she opens up about writing and how she has this thing that she's been working on and blah, blah, blah. Join the club, pal. And then he opens up about past loves and all of that. And so a kinship has been formed. They find a buyer for the house, and last minute Jeff goes, it's not the right buyer. It's not right. I can feel it. And I think he did this because he wasn't ready to stop working so closely with Eva. And even she was confused at it. She's like, you didn't even run this by me. Speaking of not running things by her, he steals her book, just takes it straight up. And he's like, it is not what it seems like. And she says, well, seems here with the receipt that's in this that you scanned the entire book. And he says, I did do that. Yes, I did. And she says, well, then it is what I thought it was. So thank you. But it turns out that there's a little bit more to it. He actually did all that so that he could make a printed, bounded version of the book.
I think it's just bound.
Bounded.
A printed, bounded version. He bounded with the version to bind it.
He bound did it. And because, hey, I'm your Secret Santa. Here's this book.
Secret Santa got him.
They realize now more than ever that they like each other. They are spending even more time at the festival of Christmas. A side storyline here, and I guess it's a side. I mean, it's part of the title, so it's worth talking about. The people that are selling the house, botanist, you know them, you love
plants.
them. They have this mistletoe stand at the Christmas fair every year, and there's Christmas fear, and there is a bit of a lore that if you get mistletoe from her and you kiss under it, then you're going to get married, basically. And so they're moving, so who's going to take that over? Eva has a niece that lives with her. And she's like, hey, you should let her do it. She's really good with plants.
She's 18.
She's 18. She's super cool, super neat. She's graduating this spring. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, they agree to that, so yay for them. And she then gives him a gift of sketchbook because he likes to sketch. And they are so happy with each other, and they end up kissing. And that, my friends, was Meet Me Under the Mistletoe.
We did it.
Did I miss anything?
Nothing. Airtight there. That is printed and bounded.
Thank you. Print that, bound, did that. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll talk more Meet Me Under the Mistletoe here on Deck the Hallmark. Welcome back, friends, family, strangers. This is Deck the Hallmark. We're talking Meet Me Under the Mistletoe, the 2023 Hulu classic that we all knew about and unfortunately missed until now. Let's break this movie down. We're going to start with a hot take. We're going to share exactly how we felt about this movie. I'll start with you, Alonso. Alonso, what did you think of Meet Me Under the Mistletoe?
You know, there are some times where I feel like the English language doesn't quite give you the tools required to communicate the depth of feeling inspired by a work such as this. And so I'm tempted to review it entirely in keening and wailing. So just be like, but if I had to articulate it, I would just say, "Oh my God, this movie is so terrible." It's like if somebody thought that Hallmark movies were too edgy and needed to be more pleasant, because like there's no conflict, there's hardly any like rough edges to this. It's just like white pudding the whole time, and lit like it was in a surgery theater. And this is one of the worst I've ever seen. Like, it makes you appreciate the relative personality of something like Christmas in Carolina, which is at least weird,
has its charms.
you know? Yeah, but like this is such manufactured nothing. This is such unflavored gelatin. I couldn't believe I was watching it.
I need to I think context matters. Middle of the night last night, my youngest comes in. He is going through some growing pains. His leg was hurting, and he wanted me to know that. In the process of doing that, he slams his door, which wakes his older brother up. They're both up for a little bit. I finally get him to go to sleep, and they both wake up around 5 o'clock ready to party in the morning. And so then I come in, and I go, good, Christmas movie, let's go. And I say all that to say this. No amount of sleep would have made this a more enjoyable experience. I don't like it. It bummed me out. The most exciting thing about this movie is finding out that the lead was from New Zealand, because finally something makes sense. And I just, you do this. I love the movies. I always say like, hey, a bad Christmas movie is better for me personally than like a summer movie, or like Christmas can cover a multitude of sins. And this movie put that to the test more than any other movie we've seen doing this show over the past 6 years, because per capita, this movie will not let you forget that it's Christmas because of so many trees, wreaths, lights, etc. And I am, for the first time ever in my career, I am starting to doubt that theory that I have that Christmas covers a multitude of sins, because I'm starting to think that maybe it can also be a sin. So I have a lot to think through. I have a lot to pray about, and so that's Meet Me Under the Mistletoe. And I apologize to anybody who made this movie that's listening to this, because I don't think it's about to get better. Dan?
This movie's a hate crime. I should have to give you my permission before you show me that much Christmas in a single frame. Brandon Gray, Mr. Christmas himself, looked at me and he goes, "Is this how you feel most of the time?" It was like for the first time, Bran had learned what empathy was.
This is the equivalent of like when your parents catch you smoking a cigarette and they make you smoke the whole
That's right.
pack.
That's exactly what
this movie
this
is. The
is.
whole pack of Christmas.
This movie,
Give me a whole pack of cigarettes,
this movie
man.
sucks out loud. It is so bad that they take character actor extraordinaire Erica Tovley,
Love
who
him.
we love. He had two of the best supporting performances I've ever seen in a TV movie during last Christmas season, and they make him just play a straight down the middle, just regular old khaki pants white dude. And that is like giving Christopher Walken an accent. Like, why would you do that? Why would you take away this guy being the best? The movie has zero charm, zero crisis, zero ups and downs. It is just 84 minutes of please, dear God, make it stop.
The crisis is you did steal her book.
Yes.
Like, that's it.
Well, I mean, you're talking about a movie where two realtors who are each so successful are basically asked to split a commission. And it's like, that's the premise is these two people are polar opposites. What if they have to work together? Why do they have to work together? For half the money they'd make just selling a different house by themselves. That's why. What?
Oh, but don't forget the cutthroat competition to become Realtor of the Year, which we then solved by making them tie.
That's right. Yeah. There is nothing in this movie adds up to anything. Like Chuck Palahniuk could have wrote this. Like there is so much nihilism in this film. It's enough to last a lifetime. You know who that Chuck Palahniuk? Am I saying that right? Chuck Palahniuk.
He's the guy on
I think it's
MSNBC.
Polaniak.
Polaniak. Thank you, Chuck Palahniuk. He wrote Fight Club and some other fun nihilist.
Who's
work.
the Chuck on MSNBC?
Chuck Todd? But he's not there anymore. I don't think. I could be wrong.
Rest in peace, obviously.
No. This
Not dead, just pointless.
This movie though,
Kind of like this
to
movie.
quote Alonso, not rest in peace, but dead.
It's time for all the feels. We're talking about whether this movie gave us those feels. Alonso.
Oh, come on. I will give them this. They at least tried to have a reason why there was a business Christmas deadline. And that was because they were moving to Stanford. They had a house there they liked. They couldn't buy that house till they sold this house. So there was at least a little bit of a reason. Does that mean that two people with a quickly impending Christmas deadline spend more than half of their time making cookies and going to Christmas carnivals? You bet they do. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like impressed that someone finally did it in regards to even too many decorations for me. Like to the point to where it's distracting. There are multiple scenes in this movie where I'm just counting wreaths. That's what I'm doing. And I'm impressed. I'm impressed that it finally. I honestly didn't think that it would. It's always you try to learn something every day, at least I do, and I learned today that it is possible.
Yeah.
And so that's good.
You can't have too much of a good thing.
You can.
In
You
fact.
can.
More on that in the Wait What. I'm sure we'll get to it. We'll mention it in literally every segment. The woman that's trying to sell her house, who's a botanist, has this thing that's really successful called Paint and Plant, where you paint something and you learn about plants, I think is how that's supposed to go. And I just need to know, since it's the field segment, that idea is my personal nightmare. I am such not an artist. Like, I'm so bad drawing things, painting things. I'm so terrible at it. And the idea that I have to paint something while you educate me on plants is literally lower than the seventh circle of hell. And I know that it's for someone. That's why it's in my feels. It's because in the Wait What, it makes it sound like somebody doesn't want to paint and learn about plants. I know you're out there.
Yeah, I mean, my wife would probably like that.
Yeah, I know it's. I know
she
it's
loves
me,
plants.
but you need to know I don't get anxious in a lot of ways. I was anxious just thinking about being stuck in a place where I have to paint and learn about plants.
So Bramblefest 2024, we're gonna have a little paint education.
My gosh, the old paint and plant. Oh my goodness, this is brutal.
What if it's instead of paint and plant, it's food and fiddle leaves? You get to eat while learning about plants.
Fiddle leaves.
That's a plant.
Okay.
That's a plant.
Yeah.
Is it the paint?
Food and photosynthesis.
Okay.
You like that?
Is it the painting?
It's better. It's better, but I still would pass probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even for the free food.
Like whenever I see those places that do the paint and wine, like the paint and I don't know.
That was really big there for a while.
Yeah, for a while there, everybody did the paint and wine. Like I get how people want to go and do that. That still is like no for me. But you've combined paint with. I mean, I like drinking wine. You've combined paint with.
What if you're learning about the War of 1812 and painting?
Yeah.
If it's a history lecture, I'm still out because I don't want to paint and learn something.
Yeah. 100%. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with the wait what and the Hulu.
Hulu
goodbye.
left this movie on the air.
You're gonna take that.
We're back.
Hey again, stranger. How are you? I hope you're doing well. It's time to get to the wait what's of this movie. We're talking about what in the movie made us stop while we were watching it and go, wait, what?
I don't have anything, so you guys go ahead.
Alonso, go ahead.
Air tight. Yeah, in the first 5 minutes, I wrote, I hate these people and wish happiness on neither of them. Like, they're just so immediately established as just, it's so irritating.
It is so
in so many
interesting
ways.
that they thought that 10 minutes of rival realtors bickering
Was enough.
Would draw us in. Would
Yes.
make us go, finally.
And I'm invested in this relationship.
Yes.
Especially when that 10 minutes is chock full of a bunch of no one selling houses. Like, it's not like it's 10 minutes where they're like, I'm selling a house. You're selling a house. We're No. Nobody ever does it. It's ridiculous.
They say they did
I
it.
wanted the Glengarry Glen Ross people to come in and show them how it's done, Let's unpack the holiday flair in this movie, which somebody had to do a lot of unpacking. Okay, we open in the real estate office. There are 14 trees.
Yeah.
Like Brand's right. You wind up pausing and counting because you can't believe what you're seeing.
If you think that Alonso is doing a bit when he says 14, I have in the realty office at whole no less than 24 trees.
Yeah.
If you include the outside of the building, no less than
That's true.
24 Christmas trees in a realty office. Wowzers.
Yeah, this is like if Balsam Hill had a brick and mortar showroom, and they had them all out. Not all the models, everything they've ever made out. It's crazy. Ava's house has 5 wreaths outside.
That's right.
And 3 more trees outside. This is parody level.
There's a point where Ava's in her kitchen and there appears to be a backup wreath ready to go. There appears there's a wreath on the cabinet and there's one below it underneath there that she could pop up if she needed to.
And I felt like the stove was covered with garland. It's like, this is the thing that I see all the time where people have these decorated kitchens. And I'm thinking grease splatters, people. Yeah. Like, you do not have this many hanging objects near where you do the food prep because they're all going to get super gross. But no one's using the kitchens in these movies ever. They're just stations for more garlands.
That's garland for you.
Yep.
That is garland for you. Okay, this guy is so inept and so used to having a friend who's a handyman come help him things that he does not know how to turn something on and off in the fuse box.
My gosh.
I could do that when I was 5 years old. Like, this is not rocket science. This is not electrical engineering. This is literally ka-chunk.
There's a literal switch.
And especially for someone who's just around houses all the time.
Right?
Like, that's a tool you guys, even I know how to do
There you
this.
know, that's it. That's the end of the conversation.
Like that's like that old Seinfeld joke about, people who don't know cars looking under the hood like there's going to be a giant on-off switch. That's what's there.
Yes, it's
is
an
the giant
actual
on-off
switch.
That's it.
And if you're not
That's all
sure
you
which
have to
one,
know.
you can just hit the bottom one and it resets everything.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. If somebody took a manuscript of mine and published it without letting me do a final edit on it, I would murder that person and no jury of writers would ever convict me. That's like, no. I don't care that it's already been out to publishers, whatever. Every writer wants one last pass at things to fix it. And then when he does steal her book and get it published in an edition of one, is that a store or a library?
Oh my gosh. You're right.
I was never clear on that. Because when she's going with the niece is getting the big handful of books about stuff. I thought, okay, library, clearly, like they've got those big, tall racks and shelves and stuff. But then later he's like, I just thought you wanted to see it out in a store. I'm like,
boy. Yeah, I didn't even think
it's
about
a store
that
now?
one.
Yeah.
Woof.
So they don't know the difference between a biblioteca and a libreria in this movie.
Time out. Those are.
And then this is a thing that I also see in a lot of these movies, but it really jumped out at me here, which is, the big final party where everybody's all dressed up and they get like the lead couple's going to make big sexy eyes at us. That dude is wearing a shirt that does not fit.
Yep.
The neck and the collar and the tie, it looks like the sleeve should just come down to here and he should have clown shoes on. It's ridiculous.
It looks like when I used to have to chaperone the homecoming dance at school and you see like 8th and 9th grade dudes who've never put on any sort of dress shirts.
Right.
Just borrowed one from their dad. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. And then again, entire movie lit like surgical.
So bright.
Blindingly bright. Like this movie wasn't Caucasian enough. The whiteness just like leaps off of the screen. And you know what? I did not even remember where I had seen Eric Atuvle, and now I'm mad again.
Yes.
Because he's so great in Santa
Holiday
Summit
Hotline.
and in Holiday
Yeah.
Hotline, and
I mean, it is the highest of definitions in this movie. It really is. Like they are just, it's something.
it's 8K. I don't know.
16K maybe.
Guys, these are two successful realtors that are agreeing to split a commission.
Yeah.
It just isn't worth the time.
And
it isn't worth the energy.
It also doesn't help you win Realtor of the Year.
It does not. It does
doesn't.
not. You
Right.
are both
You're
right
gonna
there.
split C's on it.
Splitsy go
You'll get a
daisies.
0.5 on
Yes.
that.
There's
one.
no reason to do it unless you're into the other realtor. That's it.
At one point, they are drinking what they say is cider, even though it is clearly lemonade with an apple in it. It is the most yellow cider I've ever seen. At one point, the lead says, we've got, talking about open houses, he says open homes,
Yeah, you can't
which
do that.
I'd never heard that term before. I don't know if it's a Canadian thing or whatever. We call them open houses.
Yes.
This guy's over here like open homes, which sounds like a burglar like field day. A burglar field day.
Founder burglar.
Yes.
Bounded burglar. Yes. All
They
mine.
do a photo shoot thing and they put the beards like so high up. It's just ridiculous.
I understand that you've not ever had a beard in this movie, lady, but you would know that the beard goes under your
Right under
nose.
the nose is exactly right.
Yeah.
I just, for some reason, it made me laugh when she pulled out this plant that she got for her niece and then just says like, don't touch it. I'm putting it in the sink. It was just like a weird, I got this. don't touch it. And then last but not least, this guy literally says, yeah, I may have pulled an all-nighter and printed and bound this by hand.
Stop it.
What? You printed and bound that book by hand?
Congratulations, Johann
Made the paper
Gutenberg.
myself out of wood shaving.
By hand. It was amazing. An amazing job. Dano?
I know that you think we couldn't possibly talk more about Christmas decorations, but still a little meat left on that bone, if you can believe it. There In her kitchen, aside from garland around all the cooking surfaces and wreaths everywhere, if you walk right outside it, in between 3 wreaths are 2 pictures of wreaths. There are pictures of wreaths.
I did also notice after the
there's
fact.
framed holiday art in her living room, which I'm like, is that they're all year? Like,
They are wreaths, and I don't know if you noticed, they're wreaths inside an ornament.
A ball ornament.
That's the painting.
It is like, look, at one point in this movie, these 2 realtors go to this house that is immaculate, by the way. It is like easy to sell, and we act like it's this insurmountable challenge. The house is decorated more for Christmas than any Hallmark movie I've seen in the last 2 years already. And the thing that they pitched to this couple that will help them sell it is, what if we decorate it for Christmas? What if... Now, I know you got a tree in each corner of the living room, but what if we really did it up? What if we took it to the next level? I know you think your house is decorated for Christmas. It ain't. And then last but not least,
let me see that kitchen.
There's 2 more. There is a Christmas fair. There's a Christmas fair in this movie where there are 2... They're called different things, but they're basically both wreath stores right next to each other. Like what?
This town clearly
needs the wreaths. They can't keep up.
It's a supply-demand thing.
She goes to get more decorations for this house, and she buys 10 wreaths at the open-air market. And that guy packs her wreaths up in a box with Christmas wrapping on it. Like, this movie it takes the cake. If you think there's no such thing as too much Christmas, still after hearing Brand, go watch the movie. And then this movie, 70 minutes into its 83-minute runtime, has the audacity to have a tree lighting ceremony. Have you lost your ever-loving mind?
To launch the start of the festival, which they've been to 3 times already.
There is a cavalcade of Christmas trees in this movie that outnumber the stars in the sky, and they think they're going to pause and do a Christmas tree lighting with 15.
Only one?
Yeah.
Only one tree? What kind of pikers are you?
There's so many Christmas trees in this movie, even God lost count.
Yeah.
He's like, sands, no problem. Dude, stars, no problem. These trees.
Even Kirk Cameron
Rock,
was like,
I can't move. Well, we'll get back to that.
Yeah, Kirk Cameron was like, can we back off on Christmas a little bit? I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Know when to say when.
Erica Tuvley's character is a home inspector, and he's a professional home inspector, and they meet him outside of this house they're trying to sell. And I'm pretty sure that his SUV is supposed to have superimposed a logo on it for his home inspection company. The reason I'm pretty sure is instead there's a green screen on his SUV. Either that or someone went in and went, can I get a lime green skin just over the middle part of my black SUV? It is a wild scene, and we could not figure out why it was green there. That's the best I can figure.
Oopsie.
He does take her book, does publish it without her permission. It's terrible. By hand, binds it, bounded it, whatever you want to say. Her big Secret Santa gift in return is a blank sketchbook, a blank one, just like here's a place for drawings. That's how I understand that,
yes,
correct?
Yes, because he does that.
Great. They exchange Secret Santa gifts, and after she gives him her gift, he says this line, which they're now teaching classes in college about. I already gave you your Secret Santa present, but I knew you were going to get me one, so I had to return the favor. What? What?
Imaginary numbers?
I already gave you your Secret Santa present, but I knew you were going to get me one, so I had to return the favor. That's what the first thing was, right? Are we stuck in a time loop here? Oh my goodness.
It's a lather, rinse, repeat situation.
And then
give a mouse a cookie.
Last but certainly not least, I did write Oh No, New Zealand down. And our leading actor is from New Zealand. And early in the movie, occasionally he would say a word and we'd be like, did he say Christmas sphere?
Christmas sphere.
Christmas sphere? And we were like, just an occasional word. And then we looked up that he's from New Zealand. And then we kept watching the movie. And it is like anytime there's not a hard R, we're just right, like he's slowly turning into the Flight of the Conchords. And it is, if you go back and watch it, you're going to be like, it all makes sense now. It all makes sense. The guy's from New Zealand. He's got to do an American accent and he's fighting an uphill battle. And that's all I need to say about that.
Christmas sphere.
Christmas sphere.
It's time for, what is it called, Alonso? You're good at this.
Hulu goodbye.
Hulu goodbye. It's where we ask the questions that would still like some
goodbye,
answers to.
I say Hulu.
Alonso, what are you still wondering about?
Well, it's funny. First of all, I have to jump on the whole New Zealand of it all because Dave White had gone to bed and he had remarked on the trees in the realty office, but then I texted him a picture of the wreaths in front of her house, and he responded with, "Our wreath means death." So that's another New Zealand connection.
Our flag
for you.
means death. Rees Darby, right?
Love it.
Everybody in this movie is so blandly nicey nice that I basically just want to see them all drown in a rainstorm like turkeys. Like turkeys are apparently like so legendarily dumb that they'll just look up with their mouths open when it rains and drown that way. These characters all seem like they would potentially do that because they are so lacking in any kind of recognizable humanity or like coping skills.
I just, and there's a chance I am misunderstanding this. She has a niece that lives with her. I am 99% sure that niece is a senior in high school for a couple of reasons. Not in college, even though she clearly looks like she is college aged. Regardless, am I correct when I hear that the town celebrated Mistletoe store is being left to a senior in high school? Is that?
I think so.
Correct, Alonso? Did you get that?
No, that's absolutely true. Like,
okay.
And that's what I was. I had written that down. Like, yes, who can you rely on if not a teenage girl to maintain this hugely important business to the town?
It's like they didn't,
and to relationships. Apparently,
it's like they didn't know if she was a senior in high school or in college. Like they also didn't.
She
know.
seems passionate about it. Let's give it to her. Yeah,
but it was I don't know, man. I just good for her.
Yeah.
Like, that's great, and I guess she won't be going to college. So why would you?
Why would you get that job?
You've got the mistletoe. Yeah. Dano?
Mine is also adjacent to the niece for the majority of the runtime of this film.
Psalm Live.
The niece, all she wants in life are 2 tickets to Science Con. And
yes.
And I just have to, I just need to know, what is it? Comic Con is, the niche is small. You're not going to cover everything at Comic Con, but the niche is small enough for you to know, guys, science is massive. There are so many different sciences. The idea that they all got together and went, will one weekend cover it? Yeah, I think it will. I think we can round the bases in one weekend on all of science.
And are you paying to get selfies and autographs from Neil deGrasse Tyson?
That's right.
Like, what exactly is it just a TED Talk? I don't know.
I waited all day to get a picture with the sun, and
I have a Carl Sagan rookie card. I do. I don't brag about that, but I do. I've got one.
I met Enrico Fermi's great grandson.
Dude, I'm just saying, narrow it down a little bit. Like, make it like Botany Con or something.
Sure.
Science Con.
I hear Chris Justice is going to be there.
So, I mean, that is like Philosophy Con. that's like if you just had a book con. It wasn't like Fantasy Con or Sci-Fi Con. It was like, but if you're a lover of books, we've got a weekend for you. Could be encyclopedias, could be almanacs, could be young adult
True
novels.
crime.
Could be fantasy.
Could be anything. BookCon. I just one word in that
Science
script makes you a lot more credible than ScienceCon. Dear gracious.
We did, everybody. Congratulations. Next week, we're heading over to Prime for a movie that Alonso requested that we review, Merry Little Batman.
Oh, yeah. I watched this with my kids. I didn't take any notes. I didn't know we were doing this.
We get to watch it again.
I don't know what what's I'm going to have in that movie, but I'm excited you get to watch it, Brand.
What the Hallmark's going to be like, what's the deal with Batman? We will be back next week. We'll also be back tomorrow with the first of the Jane Austen movies, and I know we're all excited about that. Until
Mr. Darcy.
then, may we be the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.